Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create this animation. And we're going to start from scratch, okay? So open up the effects tab if you haven't already, and then go grab that fusion composition and slap it onto your timeline. I'm sure you all have been able to do that so far. Open this fusion comp in Fusion, okay? And I will grab a text. So grab that text plus node and then connect it to your media out. And by default, maybe your font is Open Sans, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to call this drop in. Okay, we got our word in there. Perfect. I'm going to make this one viewer, not two. And the first thing that we need to do is increase the tracking a little bit because it has that kind of look. The tracking is increased by some. And you don't have to. The creativity of this is purely your choice. I'm just going to basically mirror it and do exactly how it is, or you know, very similar to how it is. But yeah, you can be as creative as you want. And so the tracking is the only thing we need to mess with, okay? At least under the text tab. The layout tab, transform tab, and shading tab has nothing else changed. You might see that the spacing tab has something changed. And to tell if something has changed, it'll have a gray dot. And the spacing is correlated to the tracking. So if you change this tracking, it changes the spacing under transform. It's just the same. It's like a convenient attribute to manipulate. But so the rest of the animation for this text dropping in like it does is done using the follower, which is not automatically enabled. To enable it, you need to right click in this text box and then click on follower. Oh, and if I didn't mention already, make sure you have the inspector open to copy what I'm doing, to follow along. You need to have that open to do all this stuff. If you're a newbie out there, open that. And now click on the modifiers tab, as it will be enabled and accessible to open and look at the follower attributes. The first attribute tab is timing. And the order that we want this to be in is going to be left to right. So change that from automatic to left to right. And then the delay type between each character is going to be the same. And then delay will be 3. So double click on that 0 and then enter 3 on your keyboard and press enter. You can move the slider if you want to, but I find it easier to just type in the number. And then I know that the next thing that was changed is the opacity, and then it was the softness X and Y, and then also the offset Z. And you'll see as we make this. So at frame 2, okay, enable a keyframe on the opacity attribute and make sure that you click on that gray diamond to turn it red so that it is officially enabled. And then we'll go to frame 24. That's a good one. So now enable that keyframe again, but now click on the arrow to go back to the first one and drop it all the way down to 0 so that it's completely gone or disappeared. Because the idea is for it to appear on screen like this, okay? That's what we want. And there's a delay on this, right? Because the timing is delayed to 3 frames. So each letter appears every 3 frames, all right? That's what gives it that cool look. And I actually really like that, oh my God. It's really simple. Next up is going to be the softness part, like I mentioned. So enable both the X and Y value keyframes on that. Go to frame 24 and then enable those keyframes once again. Now go to the first keyframe, and this is going to be set to 5. Okay. And then it will end at 0. And so this is how it will look. It will look like that. So it'll be blurred out basically, and then it will be clear at the very end. The last thing that we need to do under shading is go to the position drop down and enable a keyframe on the offset Z. Okay. And then go to frame 24 and then enable another keyframe on offset Z. go to the first keyframe, and then enter in -10, okay? So 0 is centered, and then -10 is off to the left. So do that. And it might not be completely out of the frame, but it's certainly moved over to the edge, and then it will drop in like that. Pretty cool, huh? We have our keyframes in here, but we're not done yet. After you have entered in your keyframes, make sure that your node is selected. Open up the spline, okay? And then you can close out the inspector if you want to get more room, okay? Now move this viewer up. And if you want to move the spline over a little bit more, you can. I'm not sure how big your screen is, but now check on text 1, okay? And then what we want to do is see these different attributes individually just to make it easier to understand what we're looking at so that we're not confused. But so let's actually start top to bottom just because, yeah, why not? Click on this button, the zoom to fit, double arrow icon, and we can tell that this is a straight line, right? So it's not smoothened out. Usually smoothing out your curves looks better for the animation, so we're going to do that. To select all, you can either draw a box over it all. I assume you know how to do that. You just click and drag and then it will draw that box. Or you can click on this button here that says smooth and then boom, it'll do it. So we want to do that for all of these. So you can uncheck that and then check on softness X1. Again, zoom to fit. And then draw another box, or click on, do Command A or Control A for the shortcut to that. So instead of drawing the box, you can do Command A or Control A, and then click on that smooth curve. So you can do either or, whatever if you like shortcuts, then there you go as a shortcut. If you do click S on the keyboard, it will smoothen the curves. That's the shortcut for it. It should be the same for you. And if not, just click the button. So now offset Z. Okay, we will now smoothen that out. Perfect. All right, so it's all smoothened and it will look a lot better. It'll feel better. Now the last thing we want to do is animate this mask to slide the title off the screen like you see here. Okay, we don't want it to disappear all suddenly. We want it to slide off like it is in the pre-built title that we're copying. You can animate it differently than this, but this is just how they did it. So first, grab your rectangle, click on this icon, and just connect it up to your text via the alpha channel, the blue arrow. And you can see that the white is filling the frame, okay? So to do that, increase the width and height of this rectangle in the inspector. And then after you do that, set a keyframe at, say, frame 120. That's good. That's when it can start. Have it end at frame 149 at the very end. And then at that keyframe, the second one, we will move it off to the right side. And right then and there, it's disappeared, right? But let's say you did want to add more words to this. It would be longer, like that, whatever, And so then it's still appearing because it's such a long word. So then in that case, you would need to have it just completely off the frame, out of the frame, to the right side. And so I just do that to be safe, whether the word is that long or not. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, so there you go. It's done, and we can see how that looks. Not so bad, right? What I usually like to do, like I mentioned, is smoothen out the curves for the keyframes, even though it might not look too bad without them. It's just a good habit for me, and maybe for you too. So I'm going to smoothen them out. Then I'll go back to the timeline and see how it looks. And so boom, pretty easy and simple. And so let's say you wanted to animate it differently. But if you wanted to fade it out, you can fade it on the timeline like that. You you can hover your mouse over the edge, and then this white icon will show up. It's like a marker. And then you have two arrows pointing left and right. Just click and then drag that over. And this is your fade out. And you can see the frames. It's at 1 second now. That's 28 frames, 29. So you can fade it out like that. All right. But if you want to do it in Fusion, you can animate it by simply going to shading, properties, and then click on opacity, enable a keyframe there, wherever you want to start it. I'm going to start at 123, and then I'll have it end at 149 at the very end. Enable another keyframe on opacity, and then bring that all the way down. And I'm going to see how it looks without having the curve on that keyframe. And that looks okay. It's a little bit too slow though. So what I need to do is open up the keyframes tab, and then I need to select them by drawing a box over these two keyframes. Make sure you clicked on this arrow next to the name of the text node, and then you should see there's an opacity attribute, and you might need more real estate like I do. And then you select both of these, they'll turn yellow, and then you can click on one of them, and then it will drag them over. You can drag them over. God damn it, I don't want to see the news right now. No. And now, oh wait, I messed up. Sorry, that was totally wrong. Move it backwards, because remember there's a delay, so you need to move it the other way. You need to have it start sooner than end sooner. So now it works. So that's one way of doing it. Sorry, that was kind of a trip. But if you don't want to do it like that, there is one more way. So that's going to be a little bit easier in terms of working with a delay. There will be no delay. So if you do the same type of thing, add some keyframes here, and then once you're done, you can check it back, and it will work fine without a delay. So if you want to, you can go to the Tools tab and then go to the opacity under here to do it without a delay, so that you don't have to worry about the delay. One easy way of making sure that it fades out, it's as easy as doing this, moving that fade out. But you can grab a cross dissolve and then slap that on the edge, and by default it should be 30 frames for you, but you can change it in the inspector. But then what you will want to do to make it look nice is go to the ease drop down, and then click on that and go from none to in and out, so that way it'll be smooth. Otherwise, like, it might not look bad, but it won't be as smooth. It'll be, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell, isn't it? I always just do in and out, just because it's always going to curve it, and it's going to be smooth no matter what. It's just preference, but that's one way of fading it out. But you could search push and grab one of those transitions, and I said one of those, there's only one unless you have presets, lol. But this will like push it off the screen, so you could do that if you wanted to. You get the idea. You can put different transitions on here to animate it off the screen differently if you wanted to do that. I like the fade out though. But that's how you create the drop in. Very simple. Oh, shit. I did not. Damn it. No, I deleted that. Oh, frick. I'm an idiot. No, but I totally deleted this on accident when I removed the other ones that I selected. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I got that back. Sorry. Hopefully you did not delete yours. That was stupid of me. Let me smoothen those out again. Okay, now it's the same. Looks nice, right? Okay, perfect. So there you go. So this video was obviously kind of long for just one title, and I understand that that might kind of suck for anyone who is trying to watch a quick video, but yeah, I just wanted to go in detail, be thorough, and that's why I'm going to make this video all about that node, that text, and that's it for this video. But for the next one, I will go over another title to recreate, just so that I don't waste your time, and just to keep things more simple. So yeah, in the next video, I'll go over something else. Hopefully you all learned something from creating this guy. And if you have any questions about what I did, let me know. And without further ado, I will see you all next time.